The Cowboys season has been a roller coaster of emotions so far. From blowout wins to blowout losses, this team has been really good and also really bad. But there's one thing that they got to figure out if they want to go and win a Super Bowl this year. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video, so let's get into it. If you watched my previous video about the Buffalo Bills game, one of the things that I talked about was the Cowboys' lack of success playing home versus playing away. At home this season, the Cowboys are 7-0 while averaging 39.9 points and 431.7 yards of total offense. Their point differential at home is plus 171. On the road, they are 3-4, averaging just 21.7 points per game and 304.6 yards. Their point differential on the road is -4. At home, they have a plus 10 turnover margin and -1 on the road. So this isn't just some narrative that the media has put together. This is a real problem that Dallas has faced this year. Micah Parsons even acknowledged it during his post-game interview after the loss to Buffalo. Take a listen.
Yeah, honestly, it's just unacceptable at this point. There's no excuse for it. It's mind-boggling. I don't understand it. Why we're not playing well and why we're not coming together on the road. It's something that we need to look at and get better because we got to go on the road next week.
Shout out to Todd Archer for putting together this article on ESPN and pointing out this stat. The Cowboys have the third largest home versus road point differential in the Super Bowl era. And this is where this stat really puts it all together. The 1982 Steelers are first on the list. In second is the 2014 Packers with a -18.8 point differential, home versus away. And then third on the list is the 2023 Cowboys at -18.2. If you're thinking right now, Mike McCarthy coached both of these teams, you would be correct. McCarthy has been the head coach for two teams that have been drastically different at home versus away. Historically different. Is that just a coincidence for the Cowboys head coach? Maybe. But for him to have coached two teams like this, I would say is pretty odd. Besides just being the head coach for both of these teams, Mike McCarthy has also been the play caller. And that's kind of what I believe to be the detriment to this team on the road. It feels as if the game plan gets completely changed when they have to play a semi-difficult opponent not at AT&T Stadium. When we've seen the Dallas offense struggle in a win or a loss, it's been when they can't make plays down the seam, over the middle of the field, and gain large chunk plays with Lamb, Ferguson, or Cooks. What Dallas did against Buffalo was make Dak and this offense win routes on the outside on slippery, throwing a wet football in the wind and expecting all of that to work outside the numbers. It wasn't a good game plan. I thought in some road games this year that the Cowboys' game plan hasn't been good. And Buffalo was an example of that. So for me, it's not a made-up narrative, and it's one that all of the coaches and players are aware of. To really put this stark difference into perspective, the Cowboys have not lost a game at AT&T Stadium since week 1 of 2022. That same team has lost by more than 20 points on the road twice this year. Does that even sound right? Whatever day this video comes out, Dallas hasn't lost at home in 464 days and counting. That is insane dominance, and yet somehow they've been blown out twice on the road this year. I remember a time specifically in 2014 when Dallas couldn't put together a win at home. And now it's just completely reversed. During the Cowboys' 2014 season, they were road warriors that went 8-0 on the road and 4-4 at home. So almost a complete reverse of what we've seen from today's Cowboys team. And I think if there's one component that travels very, very well with the team, it's the run game. What did the 2014 Cowboys do extremely well when they were dominating on the road? They ran the football exceptionally well every single game. What has this 2023 team not been good at this season? Running the ball. I think it's been a detriment to their success in games like this. They can't control the pace of the game because the run game hasn't been sufficient enough. And asking Dak to play hero ball for months at a time isn't going to work against top-level teams when you're playing in their stadium. In my personal opinion, there hasn't been a game this year that Dallas has really controlled the pace of the game with the run. And I'm not really talking about at home. They're a high-flying offense there. We're just talking about away. And usually I'm not the one to argue that running the ball is so important in today's NFL, but I do believe in situations like this, it hurts this team not being able to rely on it. Now, what really sucks about their mishaps on the road is what it's done to your playoff hopes. Because you're not good on the road, you've pretty much made yourself a road team in the playoffs, where you'll be facing teams that are just as good as the Cowboys playing at home, like the 49ers, who have outgained teams at home 444 yards to 286. If you remember in Week 5, Dallas was outgained 420 yards to 197. So instead of getting a road to the NFC Championship game that runs through Dallas, you'll likely have to play 3 games on the road to even make it to the Super Bowl, against teams like the Buccaneers, Eagles, and 49ers. And then technically you're going to have to go on the road again to win the Super Bowl. Does that sound like something that this Cowboys team is capable of based on what we've seen this year? And in my opinion, sitting here right now, I think the answer is no. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Do you trust this Cowboys team on the road? Has it just been 2 mishap games, or is it a trend that Mike McCarthy and this coaching staff have to get figured out? Thank you guys so much for watching. Now go watch my reaction video to the Cowboys versus Bills game. It's right here on your screen. I'll see you guys over there. I love you all. Bye.